idea what today's take is. This uniform is heavy.
I wasn't paying attention. What are we doing now?
When it comes to technologically superpowered people, there's no shortage of them in gaming, and arguably one of the first was the original Deus Ex way back when in a year that I can't remember. This latest game, Mankind Divided, is the second in a prequel series which began with Human Revolution a few years ago. Mankind Divided is set in 2029, 2 years after the massive augmented event which caused numerous casualties on both sides.
You can kill dreams. You can kill innocence. You can kill freedom. But you can't kill progress.
Now Adam Jensen is back in the field with Interpol this time and begins to uncover the mysteries of that event and the aftermath that followed. As soon as you get into the game, it quickly becomes clear that this is absolutely a divided society. Different routes for natural and augmented people, widespread prejudice, and even slums and ghetto areas have developed in the city of Prague where you begin your journey. While Jensen initially retains most of the upgrades from Human Revolution, the game quickly finds a way for you to hit the reset button and begin to carve out your character all over again. This time though, there are some hidden special augments which are a bit more extreme. There's a risk and reward strategy for which ones that you want to use at any given time, leading to some difficult choices about which ones you don't think you'll need. The mission structure of the game is fairly straightforward, with a main mission path of about 17 missions and side missions strewn across the various areas as you go through the campaign. I found it refreshing in a way to come up against so few side missions, as it avoided the complexity and general map overwhelmingness which you can get with games like Assassin's Creed and other titles. The aesthetic of the city is fairly dilapidated, very different from the stylized look from Human Revolution, and really it reflects the mood and the attitude of the people who are living at that time, particularly the augmented people. While the game does a good job of painting that picture, it does hit you over the head a bit hard with some of the imagery, and drawing parallels to real-world tensions. Jensen as a character remains fairly similar to what you've come to know him from the previous game, and is generally quite likeable. He has a sort of dry, deadpan humour which makes him easy to relate to, and doesn't take himself too seriously. The other characters though are fairly uninspiring. There are some returning characters from Human Revolution, but really not enough for you to worry about. There's a 12-minute introductory video to recap what happened in the previous game, but there's not a lot which carries through into this narrative that you need to keep in your head. Really, in a lot of ways, the game feels quite retro. There are similarities in feel to games like Mass Effect, even Half-Life 2, which came out over 10 years ago now, and in a way it's comforting and reassuring to have that sort of familiarity, but it does mean that the game can feel a little bit creatively restricted in some ways. All in all, it's a game which prides itself on being a game. Gameplay is really the focus here, more so than the story, as much as the narrative might have been presented in more cinematic fashion by the marketing and initial setup. In all, it really works. It comes together in an enjoyable package, and moving around as Jensen, whether you decide to go out guns blazing or sneaking around with stealth, both have their own pluses and minuses and little unique moments within the story. It's a shame in the way that you get the impression that the game really wants you to play stealthily in most cases, as much as it doesn't make any sense to go out all guns blazing most of the time, particularly if you're working for an organisation like Interpol. It does feel as though the game's steering you in a stealthier direction. Thanks to plenty of freedom around saving and lots of autosaves though, it means that there's plenty of opportunity to go over something again if you make a mistake. Generally, even though this game might want you to think about the bigger meaning of it all, it's a very easy game to just sit back and enjoy playing, and that's what matters in the end. So that's it for my review of Deus Ex Mankind Divided, but what did you think? Let me know in the comments. And head to passthecontroller.co.uk for more reviews and exciting content.